going to be reviewing The Amazing Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man is the reboot of Sam Raimi's original Spider-Man trilogy, and it is now under the direction of, yes, his name is Mark Webb. It is meant to be. It also stars Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone, Rhys Ifans, Dennis Leary, Martin Sheen, and Sally Field. The Amazing Spider-Man revisits the origin story of Spider-Man, in which Peter Parker is your average teenage high school student as he goes through the same problems that many teenagers go every day. He gets constantly bullied by his peers. He is trying to win the affections of the girl he's in love with, Gwen Stacy, who is played by Emma Stone. And he also lives with his Aunt May and Uncle Ben because he was abandoned as a child by his parents. And one day, after he stumbles upon an old suitcase his dad owned, he ends up clashing with his father's former partner, Dr. Kurt Connors, played by Rhys Ifans. And after a tragic event that happens in Peter's life, he finally decides to become Spider-Man. Along the way, he ends up clashing with Dr. Connors' alter ego, the Lizard. Ever since I was a little kid, and to this day, Spider-Man is still my favorite superhero. And yes, I know that Batman has better films, like, Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, but Spider-Man will always be my favorite superhero because I just love Spider-Man's powers, how he swings around the city, how he slings webs, how he wall crawls, and everything else. And I love the character of Peter Parker so much because he is so incredibly relatable to me. And I absolutely love the original two Spider-Man films. There was never a third one, And once Sony announced that they were going to reboot this film, I was incredibly skeptical and very angry because those films hold a near dear place in my heart since childhood. But I'm happy to say that this film is a big surprise, and it is a fantastic film, despite one problem which I will get into later. First off, Andrew Garfield is a perfect Peter Parker. I liked him even more than I did Tobey Maguire's version of Peter Parker, which I still love. Andrew Garfield gives such a great performance in here because he completely nails everything that Peter Parker needs to be. The nerdiness, the shyness, as well as the cocky, funny type of person he is when he's wearing the Spider-Man suit. Garfield is probably the best part of this film to me, and he definitely carried this film on his shoulders to great heights. Also, Emma Stone, Rhys Ifans, Martin Sheen, Dennis Leary, and Sally Field do an excellent job as well for each of the roles that they're given in the supporting cast. The cast has such great chemistry here, namely Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone, and it is not a surprise that they're both together in real life because of this. Also, director Mark Webb of 500 Days of Summer fame does a fantastic job with the direction here because he makes sure that all of these characters have such great chemistry together and you actually care for them as the big action set pieces come along. And as great as the action is in here, the best part of this film is the dramatic tension between all these characters and the drama that happens throughout the story. The first about hour of this film is pretty much a drama, and it doesn't really focus on the action until the second and third act of this film, which definitely amplifies the characters' arcs and the emotion of each that you feel for each of these characters. And despite the action being something that we've seen many times before, what makes this action really, really good is the fact that we were following these characters from beginning to end, and you care for all of them. And once these situations and big set pieces come alive, you are a little bit nervous for what's going to happen for each of these characters. The best kind of action is not the kind that you see in like Transformers 3, where you have no idea what's going on and don't care for any of the characters at all because the setup for each of these characters were so incredibly boring and bland and uninteresting. What makes the action in The Amazing Spider-Man really, really good is the fact that you have been following these characters the entire time in this film. You love these characters, you care for them, and you are worried about what's going to happen to them. And once the big set pieces finally come alive, and the fact that they are not so, incomprehensive to watch, it makes it more engaging and more satisfying by the end. There's one main problem that this film has, and it's not really against the film itself, but it is against the marketing campaign that Sony has done. Sony is despicable for this. They have revealed way too much footage in each of their trailers, and they've pretty much released about almost half an hour worth of footage before the film was actually released. And the fact that they revealed many key scenes, especially one in particular that I will not spoil for you, angered me almost because they've ruined everything. And what keeps this film from being a complete masterpiece in superhero films, and what makes it only the second best Spider-Man film behind Spider-Man 2, which I still think is a masterpiece, really angered me, and I really thought that this could have done so much better without the marketing, and that Mark Webb could have had a bit of a hand in the marketing campaign so we didn't need to reveal way too much footage than we already seen in the trailers. And the only reason why Sony rebooted this film was so they could still hold on to the rights of Spider-Man, because Spider-Man's rights could have gone back to Marvel Studios, which I would have wanted to happen, because we all want Spider-Man to be in the Avengers. We all do, and I want it to happen so incredibly badly. You have no idea. Despite the marketing problem that Sony had here, The Amazing Spider-Man is a fantastic film. It could have been a perfect film by every sense of the imagination, but because of the marketing, it brings it down a little bit, but that's not necessarily the film's fault. The film is very, very, very well done. I loved it thoroughly. Had great performances by the cast, especially Garfield. Great direction, great script, great drama, tension, and very, very, very satisfying action. And I absolutely enjoyed it. I'd buy it on Blu-ray, and I will give it a very strong 4.5 out of 5 stars. If you want to see more, click that button up there and subscribe. You can leave a comment down below, like this video, share this on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, any kind of social media device that you use. You can also see my written review for The Amazing Spider-Man in my blog in the link down below in the description. And until next time, guys, I am Noah of Green Knight Reviews, and I will see you in my next video.